Incredible clip here from Russia showcasing the Almasty. Also known as the Wild Man of the Caucasus, it's a creature from folklore said to inhabit the mountainous regions of Central Asia and parts of Eastern Europe. Hence the name, this guy is particularly found in the Caucasus Mountains of Russia and Georgia. Like the Yeti or Bigfoot, it is typically depicted as a large ape-like creature walking upright, covered in thick hair, and displaying human-like behaviors. Sightings and stories about the Almasty date back centuries, with some people believing that the creature could be a surviving hominid, such as a Neanderthal or a close relative. While scientists have dragged their feet on confirming its existence, this guy has been an enduring figure all through cryptid folklore. A clip starts with a father and a son in the woods, and off in the distance they notice something moving. And look what they have here. I must say, this is pretty impressive footage. I mean, whatever this is, the way it's moving is pretty incredible. Did you see the part where he spread his arms apart and showed his wingspan? I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I don't know that you could even fake this. What or who could you employ that is that size and would listen to you? The zoomed in version is even more incredible. It really allows you to see the build of this creature better. Such an incredible clip here. I mean, look at these. There are 8 lionesses walking through what seems to be a part of a town. It's incredible. Now, I'm sure the people that live in this area are aware that this could be a thing, but can you imagine? Maybe you're leaving the pub or going for a run even, and you turn the corner and boom, lions.
Get him. Oh, yeah, wrap him. Oh my goodness. Oh my God, look how fast this thing's going. Ooh, wrap him up.
Crazy video here as this spider comes down and absolutely wraps this cicada up lickety split. What do we think about that? Does anyone know what kind of spider that is? I mean, he shut that thing right up. Some people in the comments were going kind of nutty because I guess at the beginning you can see this guy puts this in the spider's web. I don't know, but that's quite the skill. Taken in Chile in 2022, this video captured by a security camera of a restaurant located on the side of the road showed an unbelievable phenomenon. The video shows what appears to be a stray dog walking near the restaurant at night, when all of this sudden the animal begins to slowly transform into a person. It's gradual, but in a matter of seconds, what was once a dog becomes a human being. Witnesses to the incident claim to have never seen anything like this in these parts. And by reading through the comments, I'd have to say most people are thinking that this is a legit skinwalker. What say you? What do we think about this new Trailcam footage taken in North Carolina? It was taken at the end of July and is said to show a real-life Bigfoot. We can see the images of him when he stops in front of the trail camera, and I'll say he's definitely hairy, he's definitely big, Many people are saying that this is a headless Bigfoot, but I'm thinking his head is just kind of pointing downwards. I would definitely be freaked out if I saw this on my trail camera. The one thing that looks the weirdest part to me are his feet and the way his legs hinge. They almost look similar to a canine. Perhaps we could have a dog man on our hands. It's almost like there's a little tail back there too. I don't know. What do you guys think? Yeah, check that out. You tell me that's not heads up by that kid. Calm, cool, and collected, man. He just sneaks off that little bench, pulls the door shut behind him, off to safety. So, yeah. I'm just gonna leave this one alone, but, this is pretty incredible. I mean, that fish was fat. Now, I thought this clip was awesome. You can see that they're in the jungle in Peru. And I was pretty sold on this being a glimmer jumping down from the top of this tree. As I watched it 4 or 5 times, I thought, man, what is that thing? And when it lands, where does it go? It wasn't until I scrolled into the comments and found the answer. Many people are saying that it's a behind-the-scenes filming of Predator. But what it is this right here. It's a tree. It's just a tree falling down. Which I think is pretty crazy because I was pretty sold on this being some type of creature. Incredible footage here as this bald eagle perched atop a home dive bombs this catfish. Yeah, that's a big old boy right there. The phrase eagle eye didn't come out of thin air. And I mean, we have to give a shout out to this cameraman. How did he know this was going to happen? Maybe he didn't, but he still had the wherewithal to whip his camera out, and he gets rewarded for that. So this clip right here led me down a nice rabbit hole of information. I've always wondered how these mongooses are able to escape and evade the bites of these venomous snakes. So it's pretty easy to tell, but mongooses are incredibly fast and agile. And actually when the cobra sees one, they know they're in trouble because it's nearly impossible for the snake to strike a mongoose. The mongoose is just able to quickly dart in and out of the cobra's range, which also makes the snake tired. If the snake does happen to bite the mongoose, well, first of all, the mongoose's fur is thick and coarse, and while not entirely immune to a bite, the fur helps reduce the chances of venom penetration. But the kicker are these receptors that mongooses have. It's a genetic resistance to snake venom due to a mutation in their receptors. It blocks the venom's neurotoxins from affecting their nervous system. Again, not entirely immune, but significantly reduces its lethal effects. All in all, mongooses have evolved to be highly effective cobra hunters. There were a few funny comments. One said, Ricky Ticky Tavi has entered the chat. And this one from Jake the Snake 6242. So interesting how nature has made the mongoose absolutely nutbag intolerant of cobras. Can't think of any other species that has such a clear dislike of another species. And it's one-sided too. Cobras are never the aggressor from what I've seen and are on the constant defense. That's a pretty good observation, I'd say. I just thought this was a cool clip. I mean, I had no idea these big yaks could run this fast. In the video you can hear all the people laughing, hee hee hee, but that thing was not playing around. And he screeched himself to a halt, skidding there at the end. I tell you what, these, I'll say this, I would keep my distance from an animal this big, but I would probably underestimate this thing. I had no idea they could move like that. I probably would be too close on accident. Like me, I'm sure many of you have seen these captivating videos where people claim to have spotted something mysterious in the sky. Well, a YouTuber did just that. While flying from Thailand to Bangkok back in 2017, they happened to record a rather puzzling sight. As their plane soared over the Bay of Bengal, they noticed a group of unknown objects hovering just beneath their airplane. As you can see, these weren't just fleeting blips. They were clearly visible, shining brightly, resembling small stationary dots. Now, many of us know about the incredible feats achieved by US fighter jets. Over the years, these things have been able to reach astonishing altitudes, truly showcasing the remarkable achievements of engineering. Now, depending on the type of aircraft and the nature of the mission, jets have been known to fly anywhere from 50,000 to 85,000 feet in the air. But these objects we are seeing appear to be at a significantly lower altitude. One viewer trying to come up with a logical explanation suggested that these could be weather balloons. But here's the thing, weather balloons typically don't fly this high. Anyhow, what's your take? Let me know some theories in the comments. These Trailcam photos were said to be taken out in Northern California. The original uploader said that they were taken on the night vision setting on his Trailcam. I mean, if it's real, it's an awesome capture. I don't think we can really tell from these photos if it is or not. I mean, like we always talk about, this day and age, anything could be AI. These are some good pictures. You can definitely tell it's not someone in a suit. In the one photo, you can see how big its arms look. Not just the length, but the width too. I'm torn on this one. If it's real, this is pretty cool. The star of our first video clip is quite the character. Standing at only 22 inches high, this is the Vietnamese mouse deer, thought to have been extinct for years. Here's a Trailcam video of him. The fanged mouse deer, or Vietnamese mouse deer, is a fascinating creature. This animal is much smaller than typical deer species and is found only in Vietnam. Since mouse deer are so small, they are able to avoid being seen by predators. These mouse deer are very elusive. They have actually been able to avoid being seen for 3 decades. Beginning in the latter part of the 20th century, reports of sightings of mouse deer gradually dwindled, and then stopped altogether after a period of a few years. Following decades of decreasing numbers, experts had concluded that this extinct species of deer had finally died out. So you can imagine their shock when a hiker claimed to have seen a mouse deer-like animal. Authorities were initially skeptical, but after setting up several trail cams in the area of the sightings, they were able to capture images of this incredible creature. Hours and hours of footage as well as hundreds of still images were captured by trail cameras showing a solitary mouse deer foraging for food and keeping a wary eye out for any danger. Fast forward to today, researchers are trying to get a count of wild mouse deer and figure out what they can do to restore their population. A man by the name of Alex from New South Wales, Australia caught something absolutely terrifying on his trail camera. The camera was mounted in a very remote area of the woods behind his house. He would occasionally pass this spot when he would take a walk to clear his mind. He said, however, that every time he walked past this spot, he got a weird feeling. It would get really quiet. All wildlife noises would stop. He thought he was entering some sort of vortex or gateway somewhere. He decided to put up a trail camera. For weeks, the camera didn't catch anything. No creatures, no people, no animals, nothing. That all changed one night as he was combing through footage, and this horrifying image popped up. The footage is pretty unsettling. You can see the creature's glowing dead eyes. Glowing eyes are not generally a characteristic of humans, and you can see the head of an odd, humanoid, alien-looking creature looking directly into the camera. Many nocturnal animals, such as raccoons and coyotes, have glowing eyes, but not generally humans. I'd say this demonstrates that this creature's not human. Some people say the creature resembles a skinwalker. It looks paranormal to me. What do you guys think about this creature? This next video is pretty crazy. Environmentalists immediately started looking for the elk known as the elk with the tire around his neck after his discovery was first reported in 2019. This elk would occasionally appear on trail cameras, including this one used by hunters. So much so that it took them 2 years to pinpoint the elk's exact location. When they finally succeeded in doing so, they used a tranquilizer dart to take down the elk. They needed him down long enough to remove the tire from his neck. Unfortunately, the elk's antlers had to be removed as part of this task, which probably came as quite a shock to him when he woke up. Fortunately, elk grow new antlers every spring, so he wouldn't be without them for too long. Very cool video. For our next clip, we're heading back to the Appalachian Mountains. An uploader was asking for help identifying some gruesome screaming they heard. They explained that they don't have any neighbors and there are no native animals that would make this sound. Here's the sound captured by the trail camera in their barn. Insane if you ask me. Does anyone have any idea what this could be? The following clip was taken by a TikTok user in the UK. It shows the uploader's cat engaged in a tense standoff with a fox, which he claims was attempting to steal an egg from their garden. This particular cat is not going to give up that egg without a fight though, despite the fact that the vast majority of cats would never risk going up against an adult fox. This one doesn't seem to care. The cat eventually gets the fox to back down, with a series of hisses and stern meows before chasing it off. If you haven't noticed by now, take a look at this courageous cat. He's missing a front leg, which makes his victory over the fox all the more impressive. This cat is not one to be messed with. Okay everyone, since I botched the last hidden lion video so badly, I apologize. Here's another one. As you can see in the picture, there are 2 lions lazily laying by this little creek bed. Can you find the third one? Okay, I'll give you a hint. The 2 male lions are laying down, the female is hidden. Okay, she is hidden right over here. A stealthy little lady. Honestly, she's probably just trying to get away from the guys. There are literally hundreds of thousands of purported Bigfoot sightings each year in the United States of America alone, but only a shockingly small percentage of them have been caught on trail cameras. As we see here in the upper right corner, we can make out what appears to be a hairy bipedal creature leaving the clearing. You can see the back of the animal heading off into the thicker part of the woods. What makes this picture more believable is how the deer is reacting to him. The deer was calmly checking out the trail camera, but is clearly scared of the strangely large animal behind him, and looks to be keeping a close eye on it to protect itself from a surprise attack. I'll leave this one up to you guys. Is this real? Is this just a bear? Or is it another Bigfoot hoax? This next clip proves how amazing cats are. As you can see, a toddler and a cat are just hanging out together. The toddler beelines for the steps, but the cat is not having it. Not on my watch, he says, and pushes the boy back to safety. Another angle shows the cat watching the boy intently as he crawls away. The cat is aware of the danger of those steps. The boy even pauses and looks back at the cat. And boom, he's off to save the day. Just an amazing clip. A creepy surveillance video showed this creature walking down a dark road. The video quality is pretty poor, but you can make out a crab-like creature. What is this thing? What makes it most believable to me is the dog's reaction. Coming up. He glances at it and then gets out of the way. I have very little info on this video, so if you know more, let me know in the comments, please. These next short clips are a little different, but part of a really cool series released on Instagram by a channel called The Dark Side of Nature. Check these out and let me know what you think in the comments. The Stygian owl, also known as the devil's owl, is mostly found in Mexico and parts of Central and South America. At first glance, he looks to be a pretty normal owl. He is standard size and has a conventional color, but this guy has one very distinct feature. As you can see here, the owl's eyes are yellow. However, that can change very quickly. These ominous-looking birds have reflective discs that gives their eyes a bright red appearance when exposed to daylight, which makes them extremely creepy. They have even been confused with Mothman, the cryptid that terrorizes the night sky with its piercing red eyes. Despite their outward appearance, however, these owls do not hold any special powers or pose any threats to humans, but really cool to look at. In July of this year, a man named Douglas Windsor, a Kentucky native, took to Facebook to share some spine-tingling footage that he shot. This was captured on a surveillance camera set up outside his home. Douglas explains that one evening he was checking his security cameras and was astounded to see a gaunt, glowing humanoid figure stalking his front yard. I'd say that was a pretty accurate description, hunched over and moving slowly across the man's yard, with his back bowed and his arms stretched slightly outwards, eager to seize the first victim it comes across. When mainstream news reported this, it didn't take long for other Kentucky residents to take notice. They started sharing their encounters with comparable creatures. According to one Twitter user, they'd seen a pale humanoid figure running across their neighbor's lawn. Another mentioned something about a creature disappearing into the forest. No one has been able to identify what is on camera. In this clip, we've stumbled on two cats enjoying a romantic night under the stars. Caretakers explain that it didn't take long for these two to become acquainted. They have a very unique bond, and now they're inseparable.